A heart with a broken sail, a breath of oxygen lost in the cold night air. There's no violence, just silence tonight. Whispering, closing in, the crashing waves of time. It's all I've got to take.
Welcome, folks. Welcome again. Who we got? Mr. Hemi, Manage Roy, Polska, Big Vegas, Results, BJ, Old Christian Henny, Pedro Valentin. Greetings from Connecticut. I used to say growing up. Good to have everybody here. I wanted to do it early because, well, a lot of folks will be streaming later. So there you go. Oh, look what we have here. Lisa Smith is in the chat. It's been a while, Lisa. Good to see you. We've got Primal Studies. We got Chris Mitchell. Good morning to the Emperor. Good to see everybody. Well, it's afternoon here, but I'm sure it's the morning on the West Coast. But awesome. You guys check out the video with Sandman. Appreciate that. He's an interesting and in a very interesting and stimulating type of man to talk to. He's got some good content, but he's the OG from years ago. I mean, everybody knows the Sandman. So he was gracious enough to do an interview where a lot of these guys won't do it unless you have 100,000 subscribers or you're going to pay them, and it's all grift behind the scenes. So appreciate Sandman for doing that. So anyhow, the high price men will pay by the deception of 98% of the ladies. And this is where men catch the most pain. They think that they're doing everything. They're getting the right, responses. The woman's into him. She's texting them. But is she really into him? And what about the whole physical? What about when that comes off? And you're no dummy to go on YouTube to look at how many makeup videos there are from before and after, and they're literally night and day. You have no idea that woman that you went home with that night looks that way in the morning, right? What's the old joke to the drunk in the bar? She's the hottest woman in the world till he wakes up. But now it's even worse than that. What they do to really change their appearance. It's absolutely crazy. So men will pay a high price thinking that they're getting something, but they're getting the complete opposite. And this is where most men struggle. And when men take the red pill, and that red pill, it's a bitter pill. It's a bitter pill. All that programming, we have to rethink. We have to realize, man, I thought that women were into me because of my heart or because of my personality. And then you realize a lot of women, not all, but 98% are into your wallet. They're into your status. They're into your network. Don't forget the network, guys. The network is huge as well. What do they always say? If you go on a date with a hot woman and you go into the restaurant, that all the other women in that restaurant they're looking at her, but they're looking at you, but they're looking at her because they're looking at her going, oh my gosh, how did this guy get her? That automatically vets you out because a hot chick is with you or whatever, attractive woman. They don't need to vet you because she already vetted you. But anyhow, let's go into this. Let's see. Old Christian says, I've watched your video on Richard Cooper. He's like Corey Wayne. Where Richard Cooper has a different audience, right? Not all of his stuff in the beginning was bad, but he definitely is out there making money. He sees it as a business. I don't see this as a business. I will never accept anything from anybody, and I will never sell anything for a profit. In fact, everyone wants me to make hats and stuff, but I don't have time. I'd rather talk to you guys and get real issues out on the table. He sold us out. He's not focused on real issues. Yeah, he's probably in for the money. I mean, he wants to make a buck, and if guys want to pay for it, it's a free world, right? I don't really listen to him, but I have listened to a couple things in the past, and there are some decent tidbits of information. Rebel Travel was on my last call the other night. Awesome dude. Hung out. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Fred Stone's the other guy in Curious Syndicate. But that was a Sludge Plate. That was the song I was playing. I like all their stuff, but the other stuff's really hard, and I like to have a different intro, more of a chill intro so more people can listen. Just because someone looks like a woman doesn't mean they really are. Lisa Smith. Speaking of that, Sandman was talking about transmaxing, how a lot of sad and lonely men are turning into women, not because they feel they're women, just because they want the advantages. What about the guys in the next 10 years that are going to be going out with women that they think are women, and find out that they're not biological women? Would that be part of the deception? But well, that's probably for another discussion. A lot of women don't care about kindness, that's for sure. You know, men, I think majority of men want to give, we want to protect, want to provide for, and we want that in return. We want the love in return. We want the appreciation, the affection, which is not a bad thing. But is that really what women are seeking today? Do they really get with you for your heart and your personality and your character? Or do they get with you for other things? And I'm going to have to vote other things for 300 Trebek. Manager has a question. We should never over punish a criminal for the crime he did. Why is it a wrong thing? Courts are courts, and it's all just a big circus. Your network is part of your net worth. There you go, Primal. Well said, brother. They want access to your network because it is your net worth. The legendary John Boston is back. Good to see John. How dare you, Lee says a double-double. I'm a real woman and a man all at once. Apparently men, I just read an article, men can become pregnant. I did not know that. I can't stand LTR types who call themselves red pill. They're really advice for the blue pill, Lavish Patch Kid. Well said, brother. You know what? The audience of men, okay, I think there's a lot of subcultures within this space. There's really high quality creators that don't do it for money. There's other creators that do it for money. There's other creators that say they are in this space, but are pitching a complete different series of you need to go get married, you need to date, and so forth. I'm all about authenticity. That's all I am. Kevin McAllister, if you're still stupid enough to date in today's world, then at the very least, never accept anything you see online. Insist on a date and always test drive before you buy anything. Unicorns don't exist. Well said, Kevin. I think you just summed up this chat. What they are online is not typically what they are in person. YY says, to be a woman is to be a blank. Well, I think that there's transactions and everything, and you might be onto something. I remember in my marriage saying, if I gave her, if I paid for her haircut and everything, or cut and color, which is like $200, then she'd get put out. Wouldn't that be considered what you just talked about? The more we talk, the more we learn and grow more wiser. Well said, oh, Christian Henney. Todd Johnson, never have been with guys for love. I would agree with that statement. I truly believe the women that get with men for the love's sake is, I wouldn't even think 1% to 2%. I would say it's in the 1/10 of 1%. And I could be, off the charts there too. Let's see. Old Christian says we should have had this talk 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have YouTube. That was the only problem. Women want Instagram likes and lots of money and access to Giga Chad despite being 5 foot tall and 295 pounds, but she knows her worth. John Boston. I just saw a meme that said a fat woman only dates high value men. She won't date fat guys. Why would she date someone of equal status and stature? Old school's back. Hope you're doing well, brother. We got our FJT Giga Chad in the house. Giga Chad to the mother effing rad. We're witnessing another legendary stream. I got to show you guys this. I just got this amp. Check it out. It's called Black Star. And whoever is in music, my old amp, kind of the circuit board after 24 years busted. This thing is badass. FJT, John, Polska, Travis, Fred, whoever plays guitar. It's loud. Look how small it is, right? It is awesome. It's got delay. It's got a little bit of effects, but it runs on batteries and you can take it anywhere. It's almost as loud as my original amp. But anyhow, I know FJT plays guitar. Glad you are here. John says, pregnant man that are being affected by climate change are having more heart attacks brought on by the feezer. The feezer. Managed right. No, men cannot be pregnant. It's biologically impossible. Whoever said is foolish. I've confirmed it. We don't need to confirm that. We know that. This is satire, my brother, but I think you got it on. Chris Mitchell says, don't worry. The re-education camp's coming soon. How does this baddie look in the morning? Jawara. Well, I think a lot of women have taken off their makeup and their hair and their eyes and their eyelashes, and even some women have prosthetic breasts. It's out of control. Good to have Jawara. PH is here. I think 98% of men don't even need to be deceived by women. They just walk straight into her slaughterhouse. Well said, PH. And by the way, I got your email this morning. We'll chat this weekend. Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, the reality is, we don't know what we're getting. But then again, let me play devil's advocate. There's a lot of douchebag dudes out there that look like high value but live with their mothers. They're bad in debt. They're horrible with money. They eat like crap. They have huge addictions. So we got to at least be part of that. Men have caused a lot of issues in this world, right? John Boston, they do have a bass amp. I think it was like $50. That only thing cost me $58 shipped. Dope. I mean, I love it. And I was looking at Fender, the Fender, I can't remember. I was looking at Fender, I was looking at PV, and I'm like, I don't want a big amp. I wanted something I can put in my car. Fat women think they are tens and demand wealthy Chad. Of course, they end up alone like most women. Well said, Todd. I don't think it looks good in the future for a lot of ladies unless they change their boss babe mentality, become, all the things that we talk about, feminine, non-aggressive, non-masculine, and so forth. Oh, FJT, you'd love it. I mean, get it on Amazon. If you don't like it, return it. I think it's amazing. Morbidly obese 45-year-olds with 4 children on welfare knows her worth and not ready to settle. Betty Saab in the house. You well said, brother. Send me your pic. I'll have to take a picture. I just can't find the circuit board. We must combat these issues. We can't hate women and look down on simps. They won't talk about the real issues. Oh, we don't hate women. I'm glad you brought that up. We understand women as we understand ourselves. We need to understand ourselves. In Red Pill, just because we understand a little bit more about female nature than we didn't know years ago, we've got to understand who we are. You know what our biggest downfall is? Exactly what the title says. The deception we get by ladies because we're thinking with both wrong heads, the lower and the upper head. The upper head says she's going to love me for who I am. The lower says she's beautiful and I love her because of the biology. We're also messed up. And this is why channels and live chats and things like this help reinforce that we need to be on our purpose. We need to not allow shenanigans in our life that will derail us, which is we don't recommend marriage, cohabitation, or kids. Not that we don't think they're wrong. We don't recommend them because the risks outweigh the rewards and the return on investment will never be achieved. Remember on Oprah, the pregnant man? We must be wiser and cold and smart and kindful when these simps, hateful women. You know who the most dangerous man in the world is? The nice guy. Man must come first and be honored. Women add stress and health issues to a man nowadays. I always had more luck with Polish chicks, more toxic and catastrophic ends with American chicks. Wolf, King, Sigma. I don't think you're wrong there, brother. I think there's a lot of stress dealing with women. And you know what? Men are difficult as well, but we're not hating on anybody. We're just realizing that we both have characteristics that if we base our mentality with their mentality, we are going to suffer. If you go into something, this is what I tell. If you go into, like, let's just say, I think dating apps are garbage. But if you did a dating app, do it for pure entertainment purposes only. Don't expect anything to come out of it. What do most men do? They get on dating apps, they get a bunch of likes, swipes, and all of a sudden they ghost them. And then the guy's butt hurt and goes home and cries. No one likes me. You have to go into it with no emotions attached. Men can quickly attach themselves emotionally to anything. And we have to understand that. We have to use our biology, which is right here and right here, to understand the full picture. Transparency. Lavish Pack says men cause all the issues when they liberated women. I'm not going to disagree with that. It's a dope amp. You guys got to check it out. Jason Scala, rad. I want to thank you for the inspirational videos you make. It's super important as they help us stay focused and not fall back into the blue-pilled mindset. Well, good to have you here. I don't remember where you're from. But, every day you got to take your pills. You got to understand who you are. It is so quick for a man to switch his thinking when he thinks with his lower half. Old school. Looking forward to One Fast Stack and Father Saunders. We're going to go version 2.0. I like the sound of the Mark bass, but the color, the yellow color. Black Star bass, the yellow. Mine was this. I got it. It was like $10 cheaper or $15 cheaper for the yellow color, and I thought it was different looking. All of them are black. Bunky Bob. How do I get over a woman who was single mom of one and started hooking up with another guy within a week of us being done talking? I've started becoming literally physically ill. Fantasy versus reality. The fact that she had another man's DNA in her and she produced an offspring with another man. You are never going to come first. You have one-itis, or as said, Jason, you have to write the pros and cons down. She cheated on you, which means she never liked you. And you've got to find something and you've got to see the reality of that. What else would anybody say to Bunky Bob here? Yep, men are not optimizing for themselves, 100%. We must not hate women and simps. They are too weak to hurt or harm as they melt under pressure. I would agree with that statement, my man. I'm not trying to. I have contacted her for a month. Yeah, this woman is not a quality person. If a woman cheats on you, you never go back. You do not bathe in dirty bath water. There's nothing special about her being a single mother. That is the lower of the lowest form of relationship that one could possibly get into. Why did she get rid of the first guy? The father of her kids. Women are formed. Now, I wouldn't mind, I think there's other things you can do with a single mother that don't, require commitment. Women are far more materialistic than men. Materialism over maternal. West is gone. I see no hope now. Maybe in East Asia or Eastern Europe, some form of civilization might survive. Great statement, Betty. Great statement right there. PH says the only deception going on is in women's minds. Women of 60 thinking they have high value. I know they do. Sidelon from 801 out of the SLC. You got to tell me what part of SLC you are. With more people not going to churches on Sundays, the well will dry up. And be very careful of the born-again Christian woman. She's born again for a reason. Are you back on the I Hate Dogs channel? No, but I'll tell you this story. I went to get my mail yesterday, and this woman and her husband were walking the dogs by me, and she let the damn dog like 30 feet of leash, and the dog comes up, starts trying to sniff my ball sack and so forth, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. He's really friendly." I said, "That's what they all say till they bite you." And they kind of looked at me and left. A collapse will right the markets, but that means millions dead. And conflict for generations. Well said, Todd. And this is why we have to be strong right now, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Shit's going to hit the fan, guys. After all, religion is still with the state. Now Canada's pushing single taxes on men. Well, there is a single tax, Don't forget, guys, if you're a single man in the United States filing a 1040, your deduction is much lower than if you were married. Generation F up. Good to see you. Most men are not cunning. All women are. Philosophers say never, ever deal with a cunning person. I'd say most women are clever. But well said. The mind's two great abilities are also those that cause the greatest pain. Number one, imagining a future. Number two, remembering the past. You have to stay in the present. Well said, Jason. Lisa Smith to Bunky. Bob, it's her loss. Couldn't agree with you more, Lisa. Rad, why would a woman cheat then eventually reach out to check the waters? Why cheat and then try to reach out? Free slave mind. It's called breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbs. Understand that. Go look it up. Breadcrumbing is that they want you on the back burner on deck in case anything happens, and then you can run in and be Captain Save-A-Ho, the white knight, to give her the attention and the emotional tampon that she seeks. And she won't go back to you. And if she does go back to you, she's only using you as a placeholder for the next guy. That's what it means. But go look up breadcrumbing. Single mothers are a no-go, Todd. Absolutely. The sale of dogs up 900% among women. Well, my ex bought a dog, so I think that's right, Juara. I got you what you're saying there, old Christian. Either go monk or run rotations. You wouldn't still be a rancher with liberated cows. Relationships are over. That's good fun. That's good fun right there, Lavish Patch. I like that. Gone fishing is in the house. Yeah. Well, Bunky, just stay positive. I did write a little booklet on my channel, Rad's booklet. It gives you some tips on how to get over your lady. The most important one is to know that the fantasy that you think she is not the reality of who she became. Or the fantasy of who she was is not who she became and is. And number two, you got to write your pro and cons list down. Your cons should be 4-1. And then you read them over and over and over until it sinks in your head. Keep emotions out of relationships in 2023. Too risky and you will get hurt. Here's the whole issue. I'm going to sum it up. Red pill is this. If you want to have a happy life, emotionally unattached from every woman that's ever been in your life except your mother. And even then, there's issues. Or your sister. Men volunteer for slavery. If you pursue approval, attention, and validation from others, you make yourself a slave. Be in competition with only your past self. Well said, unnamed. Tell me where you're from. Great statement there. You'll have no game. That's the problem. Mata. Y'all have no game. That's the problem. But tell me where you're from, Mr. Bigot Chad. Appreciate the comment, but that's an assumption that you have. Do you have any idea what assumptions mean? I know lots of guys in this chat that have, do not follow what you say. Glendale, right on, brother. We need wealth of knowledge, not Ty Lopez on at my garage. Yeah, Ty Lopez, very interesting cat. Harshit Sander is in the house. Good to see you. Can't anyone find one woman on the dating market without a dog? You got it. You got it. Gerald Montana is in the house. Good to see you, Gerald. Hopefully you got the notification. Terrence Pop is a good channel, Harshit. He's a good dude. And he's out saving men. Tell you what, hats off to the guys that help others. For women, the definition of a grown-up man is a man that says yes to all her need and complaints. You're up. Men are romantics masquerading as pragmatists. Women are pragmatists masquerading as romantics. Yeah, both brains are so different, guys. You're well said, Todd. Cats for sure are a no-go. Their places are always disgusting. I can't stand cats. Bunky says women are so brutal. Once you understand female nature and hypergamy and monkey branching and Three Faults Law, you'll understand why women reject and break up with men. Once you understand it, you can avoid it. And you can live your life having a great life by navigating through female nature. It's as simple as that. Women are not that smart. They still show emotion. They are stressful. Well, they're just clever, right? They're clever. My ex was pretty clever. She actually had some intelligence. Where does cleverness of women take them? To the next guy. Master J is in the house. Tell me, Master, where you're from. Every man has dreams to touch the sky during his teenage year. Then women comes into their lives and becomes miserable. I wonder where I would be today if I never got married. Kind of a kind of a fantasy for me. What would I have been doing? Nothing makes a woman angry and hurt more than knowing a man they left is better without them. If they can get to that point of believing that. But the delusion for 300 is always prevalent. Steve in Arizona, shout out, try to never miss a stream, working in Vegas a few days. Satan lives in Washington, D.C., but vacations in Vegas. Sin City, brother. Avoid those 304s coming off Spirit Airlines from New Orleans. I love video games and Ford Mustangs. Well, you keep that love right there because you'll get a return on investment. FJT, I once had a born-again Muslim woman ask me to marry her. She wanted me to convert. She was very aggressive. I had to cut her off. Yeah, good for you, FJT. I've woken up from the fantasy of true love. True love cannot be serial cheating and blaming me for it. Well said, free slave mind. Let's see. Rad, where do you find my book? It's under my book. It's under my channel. Just look for it. Just go down the videos. It's not under live. It's under the other ones. I have converted Muslim women who want to marry me. When I decline, she wants LTR. She wants to take care of me. Look, I'm not saying that I believe 98% of women are not recommended. They're not recommended. 1% to 2%, you still have to vet them. They still have female nature. I'm saying I'm not a fatalist that every woman is like this. Okay. I don't have that experience of every woman being like this. You just manage women by your purpose. If you're on purpose and doing your thing, you're not going to worry about the drama. You're not going to deal with that crap. You're going to be building you and your family, or you and your purpose in the future. If a woman pops in, great. But follow the techniques and the principles, which is no cohab, no marriage, no kids. Never be in a relationship where you have less leverage or more to lose. Well said, brother. Let's see. Who's this Mata guy? Why don't you pop in here? Put your face on here. I'll give you the link. Send me an email, rebel@gmail, and let's talk about this. The game is not about women, so why are you all complaining? We're not complaining. What is wrong with you? Again, assuming. I'll let you talk, but you're again making allegations and assumptions. Mysterio, I'm earlier. Good to see you, Mysterio from Winnipeg. Well said. I have been playing Age of Empires for the last 20 years. Don't know much about video games. I play Pac-Man and Super Mario Brothers and Excitebike. Hypergamy is a wonderful thing when you understand it. When you're in the throes of it and it's happening to you, it's not great. But when you can understand that it's just your turn right now, and it's going to be very difficult to maintain that relationship for 20, 30 years. Once you understand that, you're not going to invest all these emotions. Why would you do that? What do you think of the Wes Watson steroid baby boy motivator? Don't know much about Wes Watson, Jora. At Mata, we don't want to play a game and waste our time for nonsense. Why don't you try to build medicine for? There you go. Maybe he should do something more productive. He's an assumer. I think he has a feminine mind. Last week, I was in public service plaza, bathroom 3. Women walked in the men's bathroom yelling, I identify as a man. Polska is having a busy day. He's out delivering. What are you listening to, Polska? Let's see, Mata. The game is about you, not about women. Well, I mean, I would agree with that. Sure. I mean, if you even have to use game, that's deception, right? Be yourself. Be on purpose. Imagine getting laid while eating pizza and playing video games and not married. There you go. What's your limit for body count? I think the less, the better. Trillions a year. Makeup industry. If you want to make a lot of money, sell to a lady. Just had to say that following Rad philosophy and practicing the values you have set have made my life 500% better. I'm enjoying my life after 25 years of oppression plus 3 years of rebuilding. Good for you, Pedro. Love to hear these stories. So, channels 8 years ago helped me. Channels 4 years ago are helping others. And hopefully these channels live forever. And if they don't, more creators will pop up. That's why I say put channels together, regardless. We'll make sure people find them. My last ex had triple figures. She had been at it since the age of geez. Huh. I would say women today have very high body counts. Hypergamy is nature. A first world government technology has inflated it artificially. Well said. Spike's in the house. Good to see you. My ex-wife since 14. Damn. When the settlement for the house was done, were you satisfied? Yes. Yes. Split everything 50-50. The way I see it, it's not that everyone will, it's that anyone can. At 744. Well said, brother. Tell me where you're from. Marriage is lost leverage of the man, period. Well, you know, look at that. Look what's out there. I dated a Kuwaiti for a year, little Mia Khalifa, but the same problem. She had a secret goal of making me Muslim. And then after a fake prego, I pulled the parachute. Oh, good for you for dodging a bullet, Steven. Got motion sickness with 3D games. I do not play those, but if you do, enjoy. I look at any non-virgin as really great ride at a theme park. There's 100 guys in line ahead of you and 100 guys behind you. She's not yours. It's just your turn. Rad, no subs, no invids. Yeah. You know, I'm happy talking, but when you make assumptions about who I am and who we are, this is just therapy for guys. Don't make the same mistake twice. Whenever a fetching woman catches my eye, I always think of all the roadblocks and landmines surrounding her. T-Talks. Good to see you, brother. Hey, Matta, I'm glad you're here. You're just you're giving us some really interesting food for thought. This whole time y'all talking about women instead of focus on why you have no game and y'all weak AF. Another assumption. Well, whatever. I'd love to see what you look like and what your story is and when you've been through courts and you're dealing with alienation and all the things that men go through. Most men on here have been married and have had multiple relationships. If you want to go to the Black Cell channels, that's more than happy. But let's not give any more attention to Mata because I think he's a feminine man looking for attention. It's funny, the more women say they don't want kids, what they don't understand is that the MGTOW, everybody calls MGTOW these like incel type people. I don't need to prove anything. Have you ever watched the Creed movies? Yes. I watched them all. I watched the Rocky and then Creed with my boys. It's a great series to watch with your kids. Studies show anything over a virgin in females is problematic. The risk is up to you. Well said. Oh, but tell Mata that he can get married and he can hold his frame and his game. And then he can use his emotional feminine mind to keep that woman engaged. Caring about the outcome is my first mistake with women. Putting my outcome first. Well said, Slam. Well said, brother. Game and frame guys joining the channel. Well, they get attention. But again, I like guys and women that assume that we're all these fat, ugly, unsuccessful people. Let them think what they want. You can't convince a feminized man like Mata. Mine was 14 with a guy that was 23. Monkey Bob, there you go. It's happening. I mean, even living in South America, I saw 13-year-olds that were pregnant. The women today in South America, they've had multiple partners since the age of 12, 13, if not earlier. Mata is blank. He has no understanding of what it is about. Most of us on here. He's just, again, a guy that assumes, which tells me he's a feminine man. So he probably was raised by a single mother and he probably has no game. If you're calling out guys with no game, you got no game yourself. Or you have no, I wouldn't call it game. You have no, you have no luck with the ladies. So he just declared himself who he was. I married a virgin. She cleaned me out after 18 years of marriage. Forget body count, forget marriage. Well said. Well said. Happens all the time, Jason. Mysterio, is a woman's body count at 6 if I get with her at age 21 for a woman? The less, the better. Less is more, in my opinion, Mysterio. Timmy Kramer, the Forever Bachelor, heading out to the GC, the golf course. Good to see you, brother. I'll be seeing you next week. Sex is like power. The more you earn, the more you need everything. You're well said. That's why minimalism is the way to go. A virgin does not guarantee no divorce. Body count just makes it more likely. Everybody would love to marry a virgin, right? It's as simple as that. Not a lot exist anymore. Game and Frame, bro. Brad, bring him on. I mean, I'll send him. He couldn't even send me an email. I'll put him on the channel. He won't show his face. What kind of man tells you that they won't show your face? There's a guy called Moose who keeps trolling Rolo's stream, probably who Mata is. Get out of here. I'll have him in. Just, again, he's only got 2 responses. We're all bitter and hurt, and we have no game. Virgins are not bulletproof. Nope. No, they're not. Marty's back. Did your ex-wife remarry? Not that I know of, Marty. And hopefully she does. I feel bad for the next guy. One of your future vids should be body counts. Mysterio. Yeah, definitely a troll. Well said, FJT. Brady divorced, tons of guys with Game and Frame divorce. Yeah, it's funny how Game works. Pearl was in Rolo Tomasi's last live stream, gaslighting him last Sunday. I called her out for the narcissist she is. Women do not understand the red pill because they are not male. Yeah, they'll never come on. I mean, show your face. Tell Pearl to get back in the kitchen to make me a bacon sandwich. She's 26 years old and knows everything. Whatever. Cancer researchers talk about cancer to cure cancer. We talk about women to cure the cancer. Women to cure the cancer. Yeah, there you go. Unnamed. Well said. My 2 friends' wives were virgin when they got married. Still with the wives thriving. Just saying. Well, I think there are virgins that get married and it works. But it's very difficult. I was happy to be divorced. Being married or having women is nowhere as fulfilling as becoming what you dreamed of and dating what you always wanted, Jason. Well said. You know, it's hard to talk to a younger man that's never been in a long-term relationship or has never had intimacy because that's what they crave. That's what their biology is seeking. But once you've had it, once you've gone through it, once you've had, different experiences, you realize that there's not a lot there, right? It's kind of the same. It just, the dopamine eventually wears off. Even Corey Wayne says Tom Brady life is a success. Wow. Well, we'll see what happens. I think Tom Brady has a more promising future than his ex, but he's already been married twice. Hold Frame in front of the family court. Let's see if the judge is impressed with that Game and Frame. FJT. Well said, brother. Frame is what you walk through that has a metal detector. That is all you get in court. Bring your game to Eddie says, bring your game to the family court. Yeah, he's ready. He lives with his mother. He's a feminine man. Well said, Manager. Making $200,000 a year and become a martial arts instructor 6 years back. Your hobby, stronger, faster than all the other people I know. Once you slowly begin to have little wins in your life, whether it's losing weight, whether it's learning to cook, whether you're trying to be faster on a mountain bike or do a hike that's been difficult. Those little wins stack up and they stack up more and more and more. And you begin to really like being with yourself. The reason why men can't move forward, they don't want to be alone. They're scared of being lonely. There's no such thing as loneliness. Loneliness is seeking external validation. Even Hollywood actresses are dying inside. They are not relevant as they were. Nope. 100%. Who hurt you? Yeah. Family courts. A man needs to have real executive power in his life. Sadly, that rules out marriage in 2023. It's not recommended. Not in my book. If they have a lot of male friends, watch out. Almarak, good to see you. You're 100% right. Even George Clooney got divorced. Even George Clooney. We don't recruit. Men show up after being humbled by female nature and the programming being false. Well said, Slam. Always wanted to program computers, and that's my day job. Writing computer programs is like writing songs for me, guys. Get in the flow. Women do not bring happiness. Well, nobody can make you happy. Well, good for you pointing that out. Only you can make yourself happy. You can't even make your kids happy when they start getting older. Yes, even with weak beta males, I'm like, why would you even care what this guy says if you're not interested? Well said, Bunky. If they have male friends, they're smashing. Ooh, and I have experience with that one. Dad issues. Women keep whatever man around no matter what. She won't tell them to go away. Monkey Bob. Yeah, and we've been deceived. Even, single moms, if you date a single mom, they're deceiving you. They're going to show you love. They want to see if you've got the resources and the protection and the provisions to take care of them. And then when they find out you don't, they bounce. Even single mothers. Women need no male friends. Maybe the reason men want younger women is because of lower body count and the femininity and the fertility as well. Young men wear unicorn finder glasses, said PH. Whatever you say about love, it's the court system. That's the big issue that destroyed us. Well, I can't agree more. A lot of game and frame bros, like fresh and fit. It just takes time and patience for men to get revenge. The wall comes, they will always return eventually. Just be careful out there. I've come to a realization I'd much rather be alone than abused daily, Mr. Hemi. Why not have two genders to do divorce proceedings so it won't be biased? Well, that's actually a great comment, Mr. Go Shuro. He probably plays video games too. I like going out and meeting people, but after a minute and a half, yeah, it gets old, doesn't it? I did want kids before marriage. Yes, I wanted a family, right? I wanted to extend my seed. SCE is back. Good to see you, brother. Fed and fraud. Again, I don't want to hate on people, and I try not to hate. They have a very different audience. Those guys have never been in a family court. They've never been married. They don't have, dealing with alienation or braces and things like that. Once you've done that, then we can talk. Again, their audience is completely different. It's more for young men that are naive. A lot of men that have grown up with single mothers. So they've obviously got a huge following. Living a purposeful, positive, and productive life is what makes men happy. Well said, unnamed. Where are you from? Greetings, Rad. Men going their own way and women seeing us off. 2% of ladies. She wolves in unicorn clothing. Good to see AZ. It's funny. Every time I like your comments, I have to go back because YouTube takes them off. Goshura says, SCE in the house. I tried to save a single mom, and look what happened. The experience was life-changing, literally. Yeah, you can't change anyone. All right, I'll check it out on Saturday, Bob. I'm 44. Most of my friends are either divorced or in the process of having marital problems. Men and women are mostly incompatible. Beauty attracts us to them only for the continuation of the species. Well said. Well said, Jason. Have you listened to Ice-T's Body Count Band? I have. I don't have anything by him, but I've listened. Let's see. We got happy as F, not married anymore, no kids. It is a great feeling once you get through it, not having kids, right? Sexless married men are smiling like there's no tomorrow. I have a couple friends that are living sexless marriages. And they're not happy. Jason, Scala, good chance their honeymoons ended a long time ago. Oh, they did, Ghost. My brother was once with a single mom. The drama is residual. Glad they're not together. I think that happens a lot, Lisa. Good for your brother. Your comments. Most women just go a bit crazy after having kids. She's unrecognizable. That's their RP. Yeah, and they change mentally and emotionally and physically. Yeah, they become. I did a video. The mommy switch turns on, and then when they're done with being a mommy, the bitch switch turns on. You can't win. Every modern man knows what women do. Mothers, sisters, girlfriend, and wives. We suppress it and want to believe the fantasy. Society brainwashes us nonstop. Yeah, we all want to believe the fantasy. Why do you think Rad tried to save his family? The fantasy. And when I looked at the reality, I saw a completely different picture. I met this dude who has a girlfriend and smashed her heart, and even he knows that he's a major simp. No, it happens all the time. Women are greasy. Also, if she has to play Big Brothers, there's a good chance they're also smashing. I've been that big brother running through my play sisters. You know what? Why do we always hear, FJT, that a lot of guys that get cheated on are cheated with their brothers or like the best friend of the guy? Familiarity breeds contempt. Well said, brother. No need to waste words with the ladies in a terribly unfulfilling cohabitation situation. How my whole channel is based on helping men move forward from bad experiences. In other words, don't go back to a bad contract that you just came out of. The way you get out of a bad contract is by reading and learning and experiencing what you went through the first time, so you don't make the issue the second time. That next contract that you think is going to be different is not. It's the same contract. Raising another guy's kids turned my stomach. I couldn't do it. Good for you, Bunky. Now that should get you out of that situation, that heartache. Big pitch. My lady of 5 months broke it off last week. Now she's texting me, leading me on that maybe she wants to get back together. Well, apparently she monkey branched and it didn't work out, so she's coming back. It's not hard. It happens all the time. I wouldn't take her back. Hell no. She'll do it again. And then you'll disrespect yourself by taking her back. Even though I'm Canadian, I know that the last elections were blank. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Mysterio. I agree with that statement. The momager, the bossy bee switch change after kids is reality for even the sweet, hot, young virgin women. It's crushing to watch it in your own home. Well said. What are you over, unnamed? Rad, the ultimate switch is the bait and switch. Don't ever trust the love bombing. It's how they all wait. 100%. Ultimately, women can't be happy. It's genetically hardwired within them. Feminism secures their lonely futures. A box line in Catland of Clown World. Clown World for 300 Trebek. Jeff Beck, Mysterio. Yardbirds. Come on. They're all playing. You're absolutely right, old Christian Henny. Jason says, big pitch, danger. Will Robinson, do not pursue her. She only sees you as a backup. 100%. You've been monkey branched. You're on the back burner for emotional, and most men will go back to that. You're in a windy city. I might be in Chicago in April for a convention. I'll have to let you guys know. Hip to the game. Don't leave stuff at my house. Don't live here. There you go, Slam. Men are supposed to come first, and on personal journey with the passion in life, women has to compliment or get lost. Well said. She'll disrespect you for taking her back. A single mother disrespects you for raising an. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. If you take an ex back, she disrespects you 3 times the disrespect she had for you in the relationship. You take her back, she's going to do it again. She's only using you for emotion, attention, most likely provision, and she'll do it again. And your disrespect for yourself has got to be a million times worse. No man is thinking, and you're going to walk on eggshells. You're going to try and fix it, and it's not fixable. Women, Achilles heel is fear of missing out. FOMO, well said, PH. So any guys listening whose ex is kind of breadcrumbing them to keep you engaged, cut that shit off. And I'm saying that from experience. Don't go ever back with an ex. It's bathing in dirty bathwater. That woman you were in that canoe with that woman. I'll give you an analogy. It's my favorite analogy. I came up with it. I do give credit where credit is due. But when you're canoeing, she's in the front, you're in the back. Let's say you're married with kids, the 2 kids are in the middle of the canoe. And you're canoeing, you're doing 90% of the work. She's up there taking care of the kids. Kids are asleep. She's poking holes in the canoe. And little water it's making it harder and harder to paddle that canoe. Till eventually that canoe begins to fill up with water. And now you're struggling. Now you're trying to save it. And what does she do? A new canoe comes by. She jumps in, takes the other kids, The new guy in the back, paddles are out, so you can't see that canoe anymore, and you're left sinking, swimming to shore with nothing left. That's what happens when you take an ex back. Or that's what happens typically when the bitch switch turns on. Black Pill Neo in the house, good to see you. I wonder which gender is clinically more depressed by the numbers. It's women. It's actually I think Cosmopolitan did it, or somebody did it. Women are, I read the article, between the ages of 18 and 85, the most bitter and angry of the sexes. They say after 85 because the guy dies and they realize, they can't do anything about the wall anymore. I don't know. When in April? I don't know yet. I just got an email today from a work conference they might want me to go to. I meant their playbook is usually the same. The playbook's the same. Guys, don't think that women are dumb. They're very smart. I mean, people will debate me. Clever, smart, same thing. They know how to play men. Okay? Con men are smart. They know how to play people. What's the difference? Lawyers see breadcrumbing as continued dependency, PH. My buddy took his ex back after 12 years, now cut to 10 years together. She is technically married to her ex, and my buddy has 2 kids with her. I don't get it. People just don't want to break the chains, I guess. Listening to you, I Don't Believe in Love by Queensryche. My favorite song by Queensryche is Last Night in Paris. Last night in Paris was strange. Jeff Tate, can he not sing or what? Swimming to shore with nothing left should be trademarked by you, Rad. That's how I had to envision it. SCE in that building. Delusional. Hold on. I'm going to give this out. She was controlling. She left you, all these people who got left, because you were abusive and controlling and abusive. I live up the street where she works, so I know there's that aspect as to why she may want to get back together. It's difficult to turn down the touch of a woman. Again, write your pro and con list down. The worst thing about it is she monkey branched. You were not plan A. You were plan D. You do not want. You are a high value man. You do not play that game. GNR is your fave. Nothing wrong with a little appetite for destruction. The red pill is solid. Being alone also said, well, being alone is just a state of mind until you understand how powerful you are and how becoming you can become when you get that. Clever and smart. I would say clever is like a step or two above smart. We'll go to Waffles. I want to go on deliveries with you. Do you like the Police band? A little. I don't have anything by the Police. I do like Roxanne. And that's a John Boston question for John. They only use you for your meat, money, attention, energy, and time. FJT is delusional. Let's see what we got. I'm super late. It's rough out here. I can see why men get sucked into it. Manasseh. Guys, we have to use both heads. We literally have to, the lower head should be used to say, if I dip my pen in the company ink or the neighborhood ink or the swamp ink, I could have a child out of wedlock. I could have potentially the itchy scratchies. I could have the potential of false alligators. I could be potentially behind a few iron bars and cement. I could be taken advantage of by opening my wallet and my heart, right? By using your smaller appendage. But when you use your larger head and you say to myself, what's the return on investment I'm going to get here? Will taking care of somebody new keep me on my path? Will I have to deal with the constant nagging, the drama, the potential monkey branch, and the hypergamy? This is what we got to think about, guys. Andrew AT brags about how he got easy money from simps by trying to be a woman online. You know what? That would be FJT. That would be very interesting. Who should do that? Who should go put up an OnlyFans and imitate yourself as a lady? and see what happens. I would be very curious if that's been done. I don't know if she monkey branched. She actually monkey branched to me from the guy she left. Well, if she monkey branched from the guy that she left for you, that only tells you exactly where she's going. I'd be very careful, Big Pitch. Polska says, Stuart, I like you. You're not like the other guys in the trailer park. No. Get me wrong. They're building landing strips for blank Martians in Des Moines, Iowa. Bob knows what I'm talking about. Apparently, it's legally impossible for women to abuse men. Sugar and spice and all things nice only. Hammerhand's been putting out a couple of quick video shorts on women that attack their counterparts and see what happens. I wouldn't take my ex-wife's personality. My ex-wife's personality is too ratchet for me to go back. She may be one of 98%, but there's a 2% Noel who just need the right moment to turn that switch. AZ. Clever is quick, smart is encyclopedia. T-Tox. Well said, brother. Thanks for the shout out to GNR and Appetite. I'm on the Night Train and I'm ready to crash and burn. Night Train is one of my, you know what? Rocket Queen is one of my favorites. It's so easy. Some of their non-hits, I like them better. It's so easy. No fap is the test of your biology. Do your sons get along? My sons are very tight. It's funny to watch them together when I'm with them. They have like their own little internal language. Like they know each other's thoughts a lot of times before they even talk about it. I have the sixes, 6 foot tall, 6 inches, 6 figures, but never married because I couldn't find an honorable woman. And the legal risk was too high. I retired at 55 and the happiest man I know. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Just like Timmy Kramer. There's one thing that it's hard for me to get over. It's hard for me to get over the fact that my sons and my daughter, who, as some folks know, I don't have a very strong relationship with, that they had to be raised in 2 households for their teenage and my youngest from the age of 10. And that's the hardest part, not having 2 different bedrooms, 2 Christmases, 2 Thanksgivings, not having dad in the house, but half the time. And I struggle with that. Now, do I struggle with the marriage part? No. I mean, I wanted to be married. I wanted to have that family and that life and build up. But, you know, I've learned from experience that this is exactly what happens in life. There's very few marriages that make it. I'm not going to try to make it happen. I saw that SCE. He was on did he just get banned again? Damn it. I believe in both, Mysterio. I believe that anything is possible, that our brains do not understand the full complexity of the world we live in. We only know what we have perceived and perceived to be true in our life. Take a baby, for example. They can only see black and white. They have to be introduced to color. They don't even know what a ball is. They bring you the ball and they say, bah. Or they say, what's this? And you say, that's a ball. And they'll repeat it back to you, bah. So everything is taught and perceived in life. So I believe, off my tangent, that there's so much more to this life that I'm not going to speculate. I have my own funky beliefs, conspiracy theories, and so forth. But it's fun to watch mysterious conspiracy theories, right? It makes you think. Anything that makes you think gets you off the daily grind. Thanks, Todd. You know, it's a work in progress, definitely. It's tough to be a father, especially a divorced father. They found his head by the snow cone. He wanted a burlow. Jumping Jesus on a pogo stick. All he wanted was a burlow. They found his head by the snow cone machine. Pow, he was decapitated. Who, besides Paul Scott, who do you guys know that we're talking about? Which band? They're from, I'll give you a hint. They're from New Jersey. Let's Go Skate Rad. One of these days, I just got back in. Picked a Creature. Ooh, you got the Creature. You know, Creatures, the only problem with Creature, love their deck shapes, their graphics, made in China. I like the problem with most 99% of the boards are not recommended because they're heat pressed. And I believe, I don't know, I think Creature, they might have come back to the States. Creature, I know Pocket Pistols is made in the States. Assault skateboards, Shipwreck are my favorite. There are very few that are made without heat press. So there's hand screen printed like the 80s. When you heat press a board, you lose about 70% of the strength. But Thanks, Wolf. Appreciate it. I just watched the story about Jason Jesse the other night. So check it out. If you speak the truth, they don't like it. You know? YouTube is such a interesting platform, isn't it? I'm not going to say any negative. It's so easy when everybody's trying to please me, baby. That's right, Jason. You're lucky to have a relationship with your sons. My ex says whatever she can to keep my son from seeing me. What can we do about nothing? Can't do anything. They'll come in due time. My second, who is a boy, started reaching out about 2 years after high school. GNRs, think about you and Crazy. Yes. What about their two new songs they just came out with? Old School, and what's the other one? I prefer GNR non-hits as well. David Castro's in the house. Good to see you. Unvaccinated is back. I need new conspiracies. All my old ones came true. I did watch a couple of Flat Earths just to see what they believe. It's interesting. If you believe it, great. I don't care.